We're on now from 3 to 6, our new time slot. And Conway back in his new time slot, which is the old time slot for both of us. 6 to 10, Tim Conway. Tonight, 3 to 6 here. You could follow us at John Kobylt Radio on social media, at John Kobylt Radio. If you are addicted and you can't raise your head, at least include us in your daily scroll. Or you can subscribe on YouTube to our videos. We put out new ones all the time. YouTube.com/@JohnKobyltShow. YouTube.com/@JohnKobyltShow. Yesterday, we told you about this. It's become like a soap opera. The new idiot who runs high-speed rail, Ian Choudri. And nobody could believe that he makes $563,000 a year, but he does. The guy makes twice what the governor makes. The guy makes $160,000 more than the president. $563,000 a year, and he doesn't have to produce any rail. And he has not produced any rail. And a couple of weeks ago, if you remember, he held a press conference with hair gel, and they were standing in Wasco claiming that someday the rail is going to come. Really, it will. Then he goes home, and it looks like there's trouble. He's got a fiancée he lives with. He's got a 17-year-old daughter. The women were mixing it up. He got involved. Big fight. Neighbor hears it, calls the police, and Ian Choudri and the fiancée are arrested. Choudri actually spent a short time in jail. They got released. No charges have been pressed. I bet you, because I was watching video of how the lawyer's trying to spin. I'm guessing that the daughter realized this got out of hand, and the fiancée realized it got out of hand, and nobody wanted to send dad to jail. To give you a rundown on this report, because you'd think that was case closed, right? But there's something squirrely going on, something odd. And Ashley Zavala is picking up on it. She's the Channel 3 KCRA reporter and political director up in Sacramento. Listen to her story from beginning to end.
No charges will be filed against the CEO of California's high-speed rail after an alleged domestic violence incident.
Officers arrested Ian Choudri earlier this month. Our KCRA 3 political director Ashley Zavala was first to report this yesterday. So, Ashley, what is the CEO's attorney saying today?
Well, Lisa, it's been tough to get clarity today on what exactly happened in the situation. Folsom police clarified the victim here was a minor, which is why they say they can't release any more information about this incident. Choudri's attorney said this case is, quote, a nothing burger and was essentially just an argument between members of Choudri's family. As we first reported, police say they arrested Choudri and his fiancée on February 4th at around midnight. The Sacramento District Attorney's Office confirmed no charges will be filed against either one for domestic violence, stating there's not enough evidence of the crime and that officers did not see injuries on either one. The DA's office said Choudri's fiancée was also arrested on suspicion of misdemeanor child endangerment, but the office has yet to respond to me when I asked about the child victim and whether the fiancé is facing charges related to that. Officials will not confirm if the child is Ian Choudri's. His attorney would not either when I asked.
I don't want to comment on that argument because I think it's private. And I believe that if it doesn't rise to the level of any kind of offense, that the public's not really entitled to have that information.
Mr. Choudri is a publicly appointed official living and working on the California taxpayer dime. You don't think there should be some transparency in terms of what exactly happened or occurred?
I do believe that there's a process that treats everybody equally and fairly, and that there's laws in California that are put in place for this exact scenario. And, if there is a protected party, that there's not they have a right to privacy. I mean, not everybody there was a public official.
Okay, so we know that Choudri was there, the fiancé was there, the child was there. Who called 911?
That is a question that I keep asking. It's not clear who exactly called. Choudri's attorney is describing that person as a third party. We filed a formal public records request for the 911 recording and dispatch audio from the city of Folsom. They immediately denied our request, claiming it falls under the same exemptions as body camera footage and police dash cam video. We replied that we disagree. The California Public Records Act does not make an exemption for 911 and audio recordings. So we're waiting to hear back from them. We'll, of course, keep you updated on that.
No, they're covering up because it's the high-speed rail CEO. That's what they're doing. And they're hoping to delay the release until people lose interest in the case. That's what's going on. So they're claiming, well, there's a 17-year-old involved. Well, you said there's no crime, right? You said there was no evidence. You're not pressing charges. So why not release the audio so we can see what's going on? We're paying this guy $563,000. And guess what? The fiancé is involved in this high-speed rail racket. And this is something our producer, Ray Lopez, noticed at the very bottom of a SacramentoBee.com story written by Leah Russell. The fiancé's name is Lyudmila Starostyuk, Ukrainian woman. Lyudmila Starostyuk. And she was the one who was charged in the moment with endangering a minor. Now, they didn't say clearly in that report whether that charge was dismissed or not. But it turns out Starostyuk recently joined a company called KPMG, a financial services firm that is advising the High-Speed Rail Authority. She is an advisory manager to a company that's advising high-speed rail. And she's going to marry the head of high-speed rail, Ian Choudri. Well, at least she was going to marry him unless this whole incident.
Oh, we were way off when we were talking about Birkin bags.
Right. We're thinking it's, a wannabe stepmom and the stepdaughter, and, she's 17, and Ian is bringing home huge amounts of money, and they're just fighting over the...
But you were kind of right. You said it had to do with the high-speed rail.
Well, I am very suspicious. And Ashley Zavala is very suspicious, too, because you just release all the details and the audio and the dispatch call and lay it all out there. And why don't you tell us what they were arguing about? Why did the neighbor or this mystery third party felt the need to call? And by the way, just because, there was no charges, there was no evidence, you know what that means. Everybody decided not to talk. As soon as they realized what happened and that Choudri is sitting in a jail cell and the fiancé's been charged too, maybe the girl thought, oh, geez, what did I do here? Maybe this is just an ordinary, stupid family fight that got out of hand. But what I'm more concerned about is she's marrying the head of high-speed rail, and she just joined a company that's advising the high-speed rail authority? No, that can't be. But that's what I'm saying when I always joke about everybody's brother and sister and brother-in-law and close friends and donors marry into these scams. That's what this is. So now she's getting a paycheck connected to high-speed rail through KPMG, but they are the ones that are getting high-speed rail money. Again, our tax money. She's getting it secondhand. She used to be a business professor at Denver University. According to contracts and expenditures in a report, KPMG has a $24 million contract with the Bullet Train for its financial advisory services. $24 million is going from Choudri's high-speed rail agency to KPMG, and his fiancée is now working for KPMG. That's what you ought to be pissed off about. And that's also why they're covering all this thing up. And there's going to be no dispatch audio, no 911 audio. Suddenly, the charges are dropped. He's let out. The attorney is going, well, it really was it was a nothing burger. Whenever anybody says it's a nothing burger, it's a something burger. Trust me. That's a code phrase. There's still a burger in there. There's still, at least there's buns. Maybe some ketchup and lettuce, but there's something there.
Throw in some avocado and some onion.
You don't do that on a burger. No.